Peace and love, YouTube. So I want to talk about I should have got my car to go put more gas in my car. Running low on gas. I get some bread tomorrow, so I'll be able to put some more cash in it tomorrow. But I want to talk about this conspiracy with the city of Poughkeepsie police, town of Poughkeepsie police, and the Hyde Park police. Now, last night around 10:08 p.m., Hyde Park Police car number 11 is going to ride up in the where I stay at, my castle, and just ride through like you're trying to intimidate me. But the night before, they followed me for like a nice little while until they got to their little station or whatever. So they try to like follow me home and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff was like, I ain't like it. It felt like they was targeting me. They're trying to racially profile me. So from now on, I just document everything and record everything. It's not like I'm out here committing crimes or I'm doing something wrong. Bet you their ass ain't gonna be outside like that today because they can't stand the sun. It's gonna be 96 degrees or 97 degrees. Their ass ain't about to come outside like that today. They're gonna stay out the way. This is why I know I come out and enjoy myself now because it's sunny. Y'all ass ain't coming out. Y'all be sitting on the side of the road trying to find some shade like I be trying to do too. I don't always like being in the sun, but being that my mom's home and stuff like that, I come out to get my privacy and do my videos. The reason why this is so big of a conspiracy because it's three different departments and it's probably state troopers too involved, but I don't really feel like the state troopers is coming after me so much. But the reason why this is so big of a conspiracy because it's not only just the city of Poughkeepsie police, Hyde Park police, and the town of Poughkeepsie police. You actually got undercovers and detectives and all that, agent provocateurs, confidential informants, and all of these people. So I really feel like I'm spiritually being attacked. You see my turban on my head and everything, so you know I study Islam and I identify as a Muslim. A Muslim, a Moorish American Muslim. Not one of the Muslims that most people might be used to. Moorish American Muslim under the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, our prophet, Noble Drew Ali, my prophet, Noble Drew Ali. And we honor all divine prophets. I honor Jesus, Buddha, Moses, Confucius, and all things like that. Now, these dumbass cars don't know that when they ride on my ass, they get put on a goddamn hot list. So we got a red car. It's a Charger. It's a European driving it, right? I'll pull over and get your license plate if you keep following me and put your ass on record. He's riding on my ass for no reason. So he trying to throw up little hand signals and shit like that. We about to get his license plate. Ain't about to play with you. And he's trying to turn the same way as me, dumbass motherfucker. I think that was the Arlington Fire Department. They on their cell phone and shit like that. Yeah, so that dude just was riding on my ass. He lucky I ain't get his license plate because I'm documenting everything. Because now, what's going to happen is you're going to follow me, right? And you're going to do some racist shit like that Red Charger was just doing. He had a black stripe on his car, like on the hood. And we was just riding on 9G. You're going to follow me like these crackers is doing that's trying to get behind me right now, right? And what's going to happen is I'm going to document your ass. I'm going to take your license plate number, and I'm going to have the make and model of your car. So now if anything happened and I see you again, I got the make and model of your car. I know what you look like. And if you do it again, then I can just, defend myself the best way I want to. I might even put you on camera so I can have evidence of your car and your license plate. You know what I'm saying? Cars that do stuff like that, I'm not even going to play with them. I gotta defend myself the best way I know how, and this is one of the ways I defend myself. Because say if I stop at a light and he hit my car from behind and then do a hit and run, I will already have his license plate and stuff. So I'm not letting these evil motherfuckers do what they want to do and just bully me. That's what they doing. That's a form of bullying. When you get behind somebody and ride so close to them, riding on their ass, if they had to make a complete turn, you would hit them from behind. So yeah, stuff like that, I just document. The first fire department I seen talking on his phone, and I think that was the Arlington Fire Department. Maybe it wasn't, but I'm seeing a lot of fire department trucks out. But maybe they doing their job, or maybe they out and they out spying. So when they see me, they can alert the cops, and the cops want to try to harass me or injure me or something. I don't know. I don't think it's that serious. But we're gonna protect ourselves as if it was. You pull me over for a traffic ticket, I'm gonna fight this like a murder charge because I've been getting harassed my whole life. My mom's boyfriend is a cop. I don't trust him. I feel like he worked with these other cops and they've been setting me up. Because they know I never knew law until like 3 or 4 years ago. So I never knew how to defend myself lawfully using the Constitution, United States codes, the law. Now I know the laws. I'm learning law and I can defend myself lawfully. Now they coming after me even more arrogant. They come in more arrogantly. They come in more with force. They trying to intimidate me. Yeah, man. I was gonna pay the Hyde Park they ticket too this week, but they followed me home last night and they rolled through my apartment last night. They ain't getting shit. I will wait till the last day to pay their ass. I got to July 21st to pay them. I paid them on July 19th or July 20th. Fuck their ass. Piss me off. And I'm about to go on vacation and see my loved ones and family. So I wish I would. I wish I would. Being that it's hot as shit out here, I'll try to go to a park that I feel like it's not gonna be like a lot of people there. It'll be low key and quiet. And when I get there, I'm just gonna roll up and smoke. We might read over some laws. We might not. We might just talk. Whatever come to the spirit, whatever the spirit take me, that's where we go. I'm spiritual, so I'm very big on staying in tune with nature. Part of my spirituality is getting out in nature, getting some sunlight, seeing some trees and some birds, we only get like 3 months of summertime in New York, so I gotta take advantage and cherish it because the winter is brutal and it weakens me, it damages me spiritually, lowers my vibration. Yeah, the wintertime is horrible. People get depressed and everything in the winter, so it's real damaging. I be feeling like some of these cars, they not even driving to go where they going. Nigga, you just following me. And I know that shit be true. You don't just feel like this for no reason. People just don't be feeling a certain way for no reason. That shit be true whenever you feel in a certain type of way. Feel like you're getting followed? You probably are. And that same little red little punch buggy car trying to come the same way I'm coming. Like, nigga, you doing all this acting like you had to go this way. You a bitch, nigga. You following me. Don't make me pull over and get your goddamn license plate, sucker. If you try to turn where I'm turning, I'll pull over and get your license plate. Watch. Because now I'm going to turn with no signal to see what he do. I don't think he was following me. I think he was just going his direction. I just felt like he was. Everywhere I turn, you turning. I only want you for me, I'm selfish, babe. Those of you black out my memory. But I can't help it, no. Drop my pen. Share location with nobody else but you, baby. You know I don't love the women, I know what you mean. I promise that these promises will be good to you. I need way too much of you for me. It takes. So what the cops is doing, they know that I'm making videos exposing them. So I'm making them look bad in public, so the public won't trust them. So what they trying to do is they trying to come back and retaliate by intimidating me, riding past my house at 10 p.m. at night, you know, and they're trying to retaliate by intimidating me. So things getting put on record. Before I was putting it on my other channel, and they was able to see everything I was talking about. Retaliating off of what I was saying on my video. But ain't no cop come to me and say, hey, I'm watching your YouTube channel and I want to challenge this or this and that. DC 95, Deputy Sheriff. Somebody actually called the Sheriff Department yesterday. Because, you know, my mom's boyfriend used to be. Yes, was telling the sheriff, my boyfriend saying I want to harm him, stuff like that. I didn't say I want to harm him. I said, if he don't like me, I don't like him, and let's get in a celebrity boxing match. Let's get in the ring and put the gloves on. My mom got pissed off, told me, yeah, you can leave if you feel like that, and you don't have to stay here. He's not leaving, and this and that. Man, fuck him, man. How you feel, Mom? Because you putting a man over your son. I don't care if he pay your bills or what. I'm your son. So I ain't respect that. That was Dutchess County sheriff right there that we just drove by. I thought he was gonna try to mess with me and shit like that, but he ain't bothering me. He just kept going this way. He going into Hyde Park though. But the way how this lady said, they made it look like somebody called the sheriff and complained against me and stuff. Why would they complain to the sheriff against me and ain't no crime been committed? Ain't nobody get beat up. Ain't nobody get hurt. I didn't threaten nobody. All I said was, if he don't like me, I don't like him. And if he want to fight, let's put the gloves on and get in a celebrity boxing match. And I might have said his address and shit like that. But shit, you don't think he talking to people behind my back, giving them my information? You must be crazy. There's one park I was thinking about going to. This shit, this shit ain't got no shit in the parking lot, so I ain't going there. There's one other park that I be going to. It's in the town of Poughkeepsie. I guess you could call it Arlington. Spratt Park. I remember yesterday when I went there, was people having a little cookout. So maybe today when I go there, it's like, you know what I'm saying? There's nobody back there. It's this one little spot where I like to go. It's like when you go by the basketball court at Spratt Park, you make that right and you go back through the what is that called? You go back through like a little parking lot little thing, not a parking lot thing, but it's like a little trail that leads to a nice little areas with benches and stuff like that. So that's what I want to do. I just seen this car get in the turning lane and then jump over and go the other way. So I got out of that. I wanted to get away from them because they might do something crazy again and cause an accident. Maybe they don't know where they at or where they going, but I do. So I can go this way. Drop my pen. Share location with nobody else but you, baby. You know I go local in it. I know what you need. I promise that these promises will be what you believe. Whoever you need, yeah, I need way too much of you. It takes. It's not you. It's just the thing you do. When this drink and this potion give me a national high, you sit on my passenger side. I don't want no one else. No one else. I don't need nobody. Kiss you in my lobby. I met you inside. Face down in my lobby. Drink inside of my hand. Shame all in my game. I just know why I can. Reason why I just send you know why I can. And everything you do can be the reason why. And I only want you with me. I'm selfish, baby. Thoughts block out my memory. Oh, and if I could, I would if I can help it. But I can't help it, no. Drop my pen. Share location with nobody else but you, baby. You know I go local in it. I know what you need. I promise that these promises will be what you believe. So you got this dude in a all white Nissan, right? This nigga riding on my ass and shit like that. Just go, motherfucker. You want to ride on people's ass and shit? The fuck? Trying to hit me? I should have took that basketball out the road. Somebody might hit that shit. Drop my pen. Share location with nobody else but you, baby. You know I go local and I know what you need. I promise that these promises will be what you believe. Whatever you need. I way too much of you for me. It takes way too much vision over you. It's not you, it's just the things you do. So we got a town of Poughkeepsie police coming right now, coming my direction. I'm about to take his license plate and put this shit on the record. Because now I'm starting to feel like I'm being followed and shit like that. Town of Poughkeepsie police. Let's see what's license plate number he is. Oh, no, that ain't the town of Poughkeepsie. This is it's a detective. Yeah, this detective, his license plate number is HPF. Let's go get this shit, man. Let's get this license plate number on this detective. He could be following me and harassing me. What's his license plate number? HPF 8126. All black Ford truck. He got an antenna on the back and stuff like that. HPF 8126. H like Harry, P like potatoes, F like flounder. And that's the license plate number. It's an all black Ford. I just actually seen him on Main Street. Well, on Ennis when I came down Ennis and got on Main, and I turned on Main and went down past the Sunoco on Main Street right by KFC. He kept going straight, and that's when that car I told y'all act like they didn't know where they was going. So at the end of the day, where I'm going to, Spratt Park, I showed this on my other channel, which is being stalked and monitored by cops. So I wouldn't be surprised if they know where I'm going, but it ain't like I'm hiding nothing. It ain't like I'm scared. It's just that if y'all try to come and approach me, I'm not talking to y'all. Ain't no need to talk. You ain't got no warrant. You ain't about to come up and harass me, motherfucker. I'm standing on Constitution. Ain't nobody about to try to harass me, intimidate me, scare me, attempt to murder me or anything. All of a sudden, his ass disappeared. Yeah, all of a sudden, his ass disappeared now. I ain't out here looking for trouble, but I am going to defend myself if it comes my way. And if I feel like it's coming my way, I'm going to defend myself. Drop my can, still decent window, pay your you need. You don't have a local, man, I know what you need. I promise that he promise in the pills. They whatever you need. So I'm at Spratt Park. See, you got somebody up here at the basketball court. You got that's the working people for the town of Poughkeepsie or the city of Poughkeepsie. They work on the parks and stuff like that. So, you know, I don't trust their ass either. They could see me and try to call the cops and say, hey, we got somebody in the park that we don't like. Because I feel like it's a big conspiracy with them to molest my rights. So, you know, but this is the spot I like to go because it's a lot of shade back here. As you can see, it's nobody back here. It's like a real secluded, like, you know, if I go to the river in the city of Poughkeepsie, it'll be a whole bunch of people there, children playing and people enjoying the weather. And I'd rather be like in a you know space where I'm like kind of to myself, but it's still people around. So I like this place. I like this location, this place. Somebody left a grill out here. Look, somebody left their grill out here. Yeah, this little place is it's nice and refreshing, relaxing, a good place to meditate. I think they filling up that pool over there. That's what they're doing. I think by July 4th, the pools will be open. And then I won't be able to come over here no more because, you know, it'll be people over there in the pool. So I have to find a better spot. It's a whole bunch of parks that I can go to and chill around here. It's just that the ones I go to is the closest, more convenient ones. You got, I forgot the name of it, a park by the mall in Wappingers. A lot of people go there and have cookouts and birthdays and graduations. That's a little further. It's probably take me like 30 minutes to get there from my house, but that's a nice park right there. And they got a lot of room. So if I want to go there just to chill one day, I can go there too. And when I go out and go places, usually I try to stay there as long as I could because, you know, my mom is home. Whenever she's home, she's trying to ask, like, you know, she's just doing what moms do, I guess, asking me all these questions and worrying me and stuff like that. Trying to put weight on my shoulder. Like, I'm just going to deal with everything on a day-by-day basis.
And there's no need to put pressure on someone, put all of the weight on someone's shoulder. Like the world is about to end. We can only take everything day by day. I think things is getting better. Yeah, I think things are starting to get better because from now on, it's not like I gotta depend on my mom. There was a time when I ain't had no transportation. Everything I had to do, I had to depend on her. Um, Now it's just that I'm a little more independent, so I feel better. My spirits is higher, have more pride in myself, and I'm happy. And I feel like these cops is trying to destroy my happiness because I'm not out here doing nothing, hurting nobody. Ain't nobody getting injured because of me. I'm not physically injuring nobody. And that's the whole thing. But when you got people that operate under color of law, like a traffic ticket, is not a crime. They trying to say it is. They saying you injured somebody. But if you threaten somebody and say, if you don't pay this fine, we're going to suspend your license. You can't even prove that they injured somebody and they committed a crime. You just want to go under color of law and extort them. And that's a warrant against the Constitution. So I have a conflict of interest with all of these cops that want to operate under color of law because I stand for the Constitution and I stand for my unalienable rights. I stand for the Declaration of Independence. I stand for the Bill of Rights. And they trying to play us and act like they could keep committing these war tactics and they can't be held responsible when they commit a war crime. Yo, I just pray that whoever was watching my old channel and then running back and telling my mom, trying to start problems, but they didn't come to me and talk to me. I hope that they get whatever they deserve for starting problems and being an instigator, trying to make matters worse. So now my mom like, yeah, my boyfriend coming over today. You want to talk to him? Nah, I really don't even really want to talk to him. I already feel how I feel. He had a chance to help me and teach me law. He used to be a prison guard, so-called correctional officer, and he was a sheriff at one time, working for the sheriff or whatever. So if you ain't teaching me law, motherfucker, you hurting me. It's only two people in this world. There's people that's gonna help you, and there's people that's gonna hurt you. If I'm getting attacked and you ain't teaching me no goddamn Supreme Court case law to defend myself, because you know they color law, because you've been operating like that your whole career, then you are an enemy. You are my enemy. You want to murder my rights. You want to murder my unalienable rights. That's just what the truth is. It's two people in this world, people that help you and hurt you. If you ain't helping me when I'm getting attacked, you hurting me. He ain't never teach me nothing about how to defend myself. lawfully, and you mess with my mom, so you supposed to be like my stepfather. I would never respect somebody like that. You a traitor. Traitor to our country, traitor to the Constitution, and traitor to our people. And it is what it is. I didn't take an oath to uphold the Constitution. All I do is study it and interpret it. Ain't my fault that y'all getting exposed for being unethical. You got bad work ethics. You're not keeping your office during good behavior because you're trying to war on the citizens. Start a war on the citizens. It's people that really want to see you fucking fail. The cops get to shoot down people on the internet, put their foot on people, but we can't defend ourselves and speak out against that. Man, every cop that kills somebody, I hope they get shot in the head by the family or whoever. If you could go out and kill people and you got enough heart to do that, you got enough heart to take shots too. That's justice, right? Eye for eye. Treat people how you want to be treated. I'm not about to be a coward and be sitting up saying, yeah, we love y'all while y'all killing us, or saying, yeah, we trust y'all and y'all killing us and doing underhand, secret, racist stuff, like you a white supremacist hate group. We don't trust y'all. Y'all don't have the public trust. I don't trust the city of Poughkeepsie police. I don't trust the Hyde Park police. I don't trust the town of Poughkeepsie. I don't trust Wappingers. I don't trust Fishkill police. I don't trust none of them. If they're not constitutional and protecting people's rights, you are a traitor and I don't trust you. And I'm in fear of my life for you. So every cop I encounter with, I'm in fear of my life. And if they do anything unlawful and detain me unlawful, I'm seeking just compensation, due process, and everything that's constitutional that protects my constitutional rights. And I want to go to the Supreme Court. We ain't dealing with no traffic court, no district court. We going to White Plains to the Supreme Court, the federal building, over a traffic ticket because it's human trafficking. That's what it is. And somebody gonna pay me a large sum. Y'all committing identity theft. You're denying me of my nationality. You're denying me of a right to be a human and not be identified as a third-class citizen or 3/5 of a man. I know my identity, my nationality, and I'm not lost at sea. So you can't use color of law on me. And if you do, it'll be you being a terrorist, a domestic terrorist, and committing war crimes. And there's nothing less than that. And I'm just gonna stand on that and defend myself every time. I already sent Frank M. Mora, that's the so-called said judge from the city of Poughkeepsie. Gene MacArthur, that's the said judge in Hyde Park Justice Court or human trafficking venues. I notified Rob Rollison, said mayor of the city of Poughkeepsie. I sent them all documentation and notifications of my status and my standing, certified mail, and some of them responded, some of them didn't. And it's not my fault that they want to be unconstitutional. So yeah, it is what it is. Talk about racism. You got a tow truck called D Alarms Towing in Hyde Park. I would never call them for a tow. I'd rather sit down and be broke down if they came because I wouldn't trust them. I would think they're trying to break my car, you know, You worked for the tow truck. It was this dude. He got like gray hair in his head. He's an older European skinny dude. He told me he was the manager. I don't believe him. But anyway, you know, this girl had basically pulled out in front of me. And then when I seen her at McDonald's, I got out and asked her, yo, are you okay? Why'd you pull out like that? And she tried to make it look like it was my fault, saying we just had a miscommunication. So the alarms tow truck dude was sitting right there the whole time. I walk over on my camera and say, hey, can you roll down your window? This dude gonna look at me and just stare at me. And then the girl walk over there and say, hey, can you roll down your window? She's a European, he's a European. He gonna roll down his window. If that ain't no racist white supremacy shit, then I don't know what is. They part of a hate group. That shit was hate. I felt it through um my soul. Like, damn, these people really hate me for the color of my skin. Sad. Today is one of them days where it's like, you ain't got no weed like that. You down to your last couple joints. You gotta just wait it out and get another half ounce tomorrow. I buy a half ounce at a time. I wish I could buy an ounce. I might try to buy an ounce. I know I ain't paying that ticket, so I have a little more for myself because I'm going on vacation to see my family soon. I already got a ride there and a place to stay, so I ain't got to spend shit. Only thing I got to spend probably is if I want to get food or something. And my pop's supposed to be taking me, so I'm gonna tell that nigga, yo, I need to borrow some bread, yo. I'm fucked up. You ain't been doing nothing for me. Let me hold a couple $100, pops. At least 100 or something, nigga. I need some weed down here and everything. I'm not about to be down there suffering and be around the family and not being able to be happy and comfortable. I smoke herbs. I need to smoke my herbs. If I'm gonna be around the family for 4 days straight, I need my herbs. Everybody gonna be drinking and doing what they want to do to be relaxed and enjoy themselves. I'm not about to be down there struggling. My dad gonna have to give me some. I don't ask him for nothing. We don't really talk like that. So this is a once in a lifetime type of thing. So when I ask him like, yo, dad, I'm fucked up. Can I borrow not even borrow. Can I have a couple hundred or $100? I need some herb and I might need to get some cigarettes. You want me to come down here to see my grandmother, which is your mother, and I want to see her. But I don't want to be down here not being comfortable. That's the thing. I'm gonna let them know. I might tell them before we even go. Nah, I might not do that because it make it look like, yo, if you don't do this for me, I won't go. And it's not like that. It's just that, I'm gonna need some herbs, and I know my cousin, he'll probably look out and help me out. If I don't got the cash, he might. I don't know if he got it, but I want to bring my own cash down there, at least $70, so I can have enough to smoke for the 4 days while I'm there. I don't get a chance to really hang out around elders and the older folks in my family, so this is like, I'm happy to go, see a lot of the loved ones that I ain't seen in a long time. But I want to feel good. They just passed the where my family is located, marijuana is legal there too. They just passed the law. So we could smoke and it's legal and I ain't gotta worry about nothing. It been legal that they just passed a law and said that it's legal, but that shit been legal. It wasn't illegal. They were just using color of law to make it look like a drug. That's how you know that all they laws and stuff is a lot of fake stuff, because if marijuana is legal now, it been legal then. If it's not a drug now, that means it never was a drug. It always was a plant. They just been trying people under crimes, calling it a drug. That's color of law all day. but they won't call the KKK crack shot a drug, and it's killing people. I think they put fentanyl in the vaccines. It is what it is. I don't trust nothing these doctors say or do, unless it's a herbalist, nutritionalist, or something like that. I don't trust these doctors. I got a right, under the rights of indigenous people, I got a right to make my own medicines and protect myself when it comes to my health. And everybody got a God-given right to protect your health. You don't have to listen to somebody if you feel like it's detrimental to you, to your health. I gotta make my own decisions like everybody else. And I'm not telling nobody what to do, but I am telling you to take everything you see into consideration and make an educated guess. So I'm supposed to be leaving Thursday morning. Actually, at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Not actually feel like Wednesday night, really, but it's Thursday morning. So I don't know. I was thinking about maybe trying to go. My dad want me to park my car at his house. I really don't feel comfortable with that. I don't even trust his wife. His wife don't like me and shit like that. And I don't trust her. I think she might do some evil shit to my car. I don't trust her. And I told him, yo, I don't even feel comfortable parking my car at your house. He's like, yo, I got security cam, so I'll be checking it. It ain't even about that. I really wanted to say it so bad. Yo, it's your wife is the reason why I don't want to park my car at your house. That's what I really wanted to tell him. But I'm trying to be nice and not create no confusion. But my dad wife don't like me. When I used to live with him, she used to put little sticky notes on the toilet bowl. Oh yeah, make sure you close the toilet when you go to the bathroom. Why you ain't just tell me that? She had put little sticky notes on the microwave oven. Don't use the microwave oven because I got clay and I'm putting clay in here. So you putting clay in the microwave oven that food's supposed to go in, and I can't cook my food in here. Little sticky notes, everything. And she's a pest. And that's his wife, not my wife. So she ain't really like me. I ain't feel welcome there. And my mom probably ain't, my mom talked me out of moving in and moving back home and stuff. Your mom be telling you go to your dad's because she tired of you. And then a month or two later, she's saying, do you want to come back home, and trying to convince you to come back home? Which one is it? You confused, Ma. You confusing me now. Yo, I can't wait to start getting a job and get my own place, get a couple jobs actually, and start off from the bottom and work up. If I got to get a roommate, I just want to find the right one that I could trust. Or if I got to, I go to a shelter. It don't really matter to me. I know people say a lot of bad things about shelters, but I sleep outside in my car. I just use them for the shower. But that's like people think real low of you when you say, yo, I'm in a shelter. I'm going to a shelter. Well, it ain't like nobody gonna co-sign for me to get an apartment, even if I do get a job. My thing is, I want to do this YouTube thing. It take time to build up a platform. If I create 3 YouTube channels and monetize them, I know I could be successful just off of YouTube. And that's not including if people can donate Cash App and PayPal instead of donating on YouTube, because YouTube takes 60% or something when you monetize, and just get people to support what I'm doing and make other platforms where I could put it on Patreon or whatever. That's how a lot of people is making a living and surviving, strictly off of YouTube. Some people is making 20,000 a month, 10,000 a month off of YouTube. But it took them like a year or maybe over a year to build up their platform to get it where it's at. And one of the things that's like is bad about YouTube is somebody can just not like your channel or not like you for what you're talking about, and they can flag your channel down and get your videos took and get your monetization took from you. So they stop you from making a living just because they don't like whatever you're talking about, or they might disagree with the content you putting out and they don't want to see it on the internet. Instead of them putting a video out proving you wrong, they just want your video flagged down. But you dealing with education and information. You might be reading a book or a congressional record or executive order like 1934 Lewis McFadden congressional record where he exposed the Federal Reserve fraud, or 1993 James Trafficant, 1993, James Trafficant exposed the United States bankruptcy. So if I read this congressional record on the internet, it's certain people that don't want this information out and they'll flag your channel down. But you could be monetized making a living on YouTube. And if you get 3 strikes, you lose your monetization. So now they stopping people from making a living and surviving just because they don't like what you putting out and they don't want the information out. And it's starting to override our God-given rights, our unalienable rights, our constitutional rights. Because when y'all use shadow banning and y'all use YouTube algorithm to shadow ban people and target people channels over trigger words and just knock down the video, y'all don't even explain to people why you taking the video down, what guidelines did they break, how did they break it, at what point, and y'all not doing it like that. Y'all just discriminating against people, taking their videos down, and it ain't right. It ain't right at all. And this is the reason why YouTube got a whole bunch of lawsuits right now as we speak, because they're infringing on people's constitutional rights of freedom of speech and freedom of the press and stuff like that. So that's what's really going on. So now you got a city of Poughkeepsie police trying to ride up here, and this ain't even the city of Poughkeepsie where we at. This is the town of Poughkeepsie. So now what I do is I get out my car. First, they're going to pull in and they're going to park right in the front. As soon as they try to come up here and act like they're coming up here doing something, I get out my car and we'll go sit on the bench or we'll take a walk somewhere, because they're not about to come up here and fuck with me. Now they're targeting me. This is the town of Poughkeepsie. Why is the city of Poughkeepsie police even in this part? They ain't got no business to be in here. The fuck? Yeah, they don't even belong in here like that. The fuck? Look at him. He want to turn around. You see me, now you want to come up here or something? Ain't no crime being committed. You ain't getting no call. This is the town of Poughkeepsie. This is not the city of Poughkeepsie. This is the town of Poughkeepsie. He out of his jurisdiction. He ain't even supposed to be over here. Let's go down and see what car number this is, because you're doing... Oh, maybe he going to do something that he got a call for. I don't know. He hopped out, so If he would have sat right there, I would have went down and got his license plate number. He ain't bothering me. I ain't gonna bother him. But it's rare that you see the city of Poughkeepsie and the town of Poughkeepsie coming to the park, just sitting there acting like you're doing something. The town of Poughkeepsie get a call if anything going on over here. So he just taking it on his personal capacity to go outside his jurisdiction to do whatever he want. He walking up to little children, talking to children, or he gave them something. Maybe that's his daughter or something like that. I just get nervous every time I see them because I've been feeling like they've been targeting me and trying to racially profile me. So that's a European cop. He's not a Moor, but he just doing what he got to do. So long as he don't come up here and mess with me, we good. First he came in, sat in the front, and then he came over to the park. That's probably his daughter or something like that. So I made a mistake. I apologize. I'm not out here trying to infringe on nobody's rights and stop nobody from their rights and their life, liberty, and happiness. I just felt like he was coming to attack mine. But they minding their business. That's why I like this spot though, because it's low key, nobody really around. So if anything do happen, you coming up here, you coming for me, because ain't nobody else up here. The other spots that I'll be going, like the river in Poughkeepsie, it be so much people around that I feel like when I make my video, I don't feel too comfortable because I feel like it's just a lot of distractions. I like peace, so I don't mind being around people. But when I'm creating my content and making my videos, I like to come up with the brightest ideas and the brightest thoughts and most positive thoughts. So not that people distract me and make me my thoughts negative. It's just that I'm paying attention to everything around me, so I can't think about my imagination. It won't get as deep as it should because I got to deal with, I guess, reality, right? Or the things around me. Not deal with, but pay attention. I like going to the near the river a lot, as y'all know. Well, this is just a new channel. I keep forgetting, but as we get into more videos on this channel, you'll start seeing I'll be at the river, near the river a lot, the Hudson River, near the train station, or even even if I'm in another county or across the bridge, I'll probably be down near the river. I just like that location near the river. Something about water that just I feel like it energizes me spiritually. And there's a difference between, being in the river or being near a swimming pool. It's not the same. You don't have the same feeling when you're near a river. Last time I put my feet in the river, took my socks off. In some towns you got beach sand. So let's say over in Kingston, New York, you got the river over there where it's beach sand, and a lot of people go swimming in the Hudson River from that beach sand. Last time I was over there, I actually took my socks off, walked in the sand, and took walked in the river a little. It was actually a lot of people swimming in the river that day when I went there. I was surprised because the river is not the cleanest water, but I guess people don't care. I wouldn't really swim in it, like go underwater and do all that stuff. But I guess to walk in it and get up to your shoulders, I guess. Hey, nothing wrong with that, I guess. Ain't like people don't play outside and get dirt on them, right? You can wash it off. But sometimes I just feel like certain water, you gotta be careful with it. If it's too dirty, you can't swim in it because you would get sick or something. But I used to think the Hudson River was actually like real dirty and filthy, but I guess it's not as dirty as I thought because I put my feet in there and there was a lot of people swimming in there, so they not gonna get sick. I ain't get sick. Now the river is cool, but I want to go to near ocean water. They said you got to go to Long Island to get to the ocean. I know it's in Long Island, so it's some in Connecticut too because it's near New Haven, Connecticut. You can go somewhere near there and you can look across and see Long Island, the ocean and everything. You can probably see the city of Long Island probably from certain parts in Connecticut. And they gotta have an ocean out there too. I'd rather go that way because New York City driving is crazy. I don't like driving in New York City at all. Um, I'd rather take a train or get a Uber. I don't even know. I just don't like driving in New York at all. But I do want to get to that river water, and I feel like see, let me get this dictionary. Oh, it will help to get the keys, right? Let's go over some civics real quick. So we got our Constitution, we got Black's Law Dictionary, we got a Queen's Treatise on Law, and the Queen's Treatise on Law deals with Bible quotes, scriptures from the Bible, and how they relate to law. I didn't get a chance to dissect and analyze this book yet too much, but this is my next one that we're gonna try to go through. Well, not try. We're gonna go through. This is the Constitution with the Declaration of Independence, but I like to read it out of here for some reason. It's the print is a little bigger in here. As you can see, this book is wider, right? So the words would be more easy to read in this Black's Law. It's the same Constitution, but y'all know that all right, so this one, I like this one too because it got the Supreme, the case is like the Dred Scott case, 1857, March 6. Chief Justice Roger B. Taney hands down his opinion for the court in Dred Scott versus Sanford, declaring that the federal government has no power to restrict the spread of slavery within the United States or its territories. Now, this is a landmark case. This is the biggest case in United States history dealing with status or citizenship. And the ruling was plaintiff in error. They said Dred Scott, he couldn't sue because he was saying that he was an African and descendant of African slaves that got brought over here on slave boats, and they said you could never be a U.S. citizen, and that's what it was. That was the ruling, and that never been ratified or overturned. So Dred Scott wasn't in his proper person, so he couldn't sue for that reason. The Constitution is a contract. It's a between nations. So if you don't have a nationality, you really can't enforce this. But they let people enforce it, and they honor people's rights sometimes without a nationality. But the real reason this is a contract between nations. This Constitution. Declaration of Independence is a good read too. Historical document, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. Action of Second Continental Congress, July 4th, 1776. So 1776, the Constitution got created after this, right? The first Constitution was created in 1789 or 1791, and then they created this Constitution is the one from 1868, I believe, and this doesn't have the 13th Amendment with 20 sections included in it. It's 13th Amendment only got 2 sections in this Constitution. This is a different one. This is a little different. Um, it's a lot of stuff that led up to 1868 when they created the Constitution of the United States of America. They changed certain grammar before in 1789, 1791. It was called the Constitution for the United States of America Republic. So now they changed it to the Constitution of 1868. They created 2 different type of citizens and 2 different type of persons. Capital C and then lowercase c. A 14th Amendment citizen, which is federal property, and then a state citizen and an American citizen. The 2 different type of persons. Now, it was always dealing with de jure law before this. They started creating the Constitution of changing grammar and dealing with more uniform commercial codes and admiralty and maritime law instead of supreme law of the land and Constitution, republic form of government. So what they did was they set up 1861 Congress adjourned, and they never came back in 1861. This is the reason why Abraham Lincoln is the last president we ever had, the last lawful president under the republic, and the last president de jure, or not just de jure, the last president we ever had was Abraham Lincoln. All of them other people is they board of directors. Because when they took the gold from us, 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt executive order, all gold to be given to the banks, right? They took all of the true wealth from the people and they bankrupted us, and they signed a contract with the international bankers. They set up the Federal Reserve. This happened in 1913, I guess, the Federal Reserve. So they was already in contracts with them, but they had a chance to either honor our Constitution or sell out the country and sell out the people. And that's what they did. They sold out the people. They took all the gold and gave it to the banks, the international bankers. They ain't have nothing to do with our government, nothing to do with the Treasury, nothing to do with Congress. They infiltrated and overthrew all legitimate republic forms of government from the Reconstruction era, from the years of 1861 all the way up to present day, 1933, when they took all of the gold. I think that's when the Great Depression started or something. I kind of feel like he did that and bankrupted the country, maybe. But you could do your own research on that. 1861 Organic Act of Congress. I mean, no, 1868, they set up that 14th Amendment, 2 different type of citizens, 2 different type of persons. You got a artificial person, which is an entity, a corporation. Then you got a natural person. And if you don't identify, because in law, every word is specific, they would assume you're talking about a corporation and go up and assess the QV trust and transact business under that fraud color law through the bank bonds, turning promissory notes into securities. What are the bank bonds? The social security, the marriage license, the driver's license. These are all bank bonds and they're promissory notes. And they turn them into securities because they get access to the Sesta QV trust from your signature or our signatures, but they don't disclose all the information. So when the rules of contract law, that'll make it null and void if you don't fully disclose all the information and details. So the Declaration of Independence is a good document. Um, We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Now, you can read the rest of the Declaration of Independence. We won't get into the rest of it, but it breaks down the history. And I want to read a few of these articles out the Constitution, right? Mm-mm-mm. It says some of the pivotal moments of American history have come when the Supreme Court has had to interpret the Constitution to deal with a divisive issue or to resolve a controversy between the other branches of government. For example, in 1857, Chief Justice Roger B. Taney seized the opportunity to interpret the Constitution authoritatively to resolve issues concerning slavery. In Dred Scott v. Sanford, Taney ruled that the federal government had no power to limit slavery's spread into the territories. The public outcry over this decision helped to bring on the Civil War 4 years later. In 1954, in Brown v. Board of Education, Chief Justice Earl Warren declared for an unanimous Supreme Court that racial segregation violated the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause. Just as Dred Scott has long been considered the low point of judicial interpretation of the Constitution, Brown has long been considered a high point. And it just goes on with more information on that. Now, I want to go through the chronology, right? Let's go through a couple definitions out the Black's Law before we get into the chronology. What is a jurist? What is a jurist? Jurist. They even got Jim Crow law up in the Black's Law Dictionary on page 431. Hold on. So I see jurisdiction, agency jurisdiction, uh, appellate jurisdiction, common law jurisdiction, foreign jurisdiction. Just a lot of jurisdiction definitions. So jurisprudence. Let's go with jurisprudence first, and then we can go see we find a definition for jurist. All right. So the definition for jurisprudence, Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition says, where's we at? Jurisprudence. Where's we at? Okay. Jurisprudence, juris doctor, juris clause. Um, I don't see. Oh, here we go. Okay, I know I was looking at it. I'm like, it's because it's jurisprudence, and then right under it is jurisprudent. So I'll read both of them. Jurisprudence is JurisprudE. Someone who makes a pretentious display of legal knowledge, or who is overzealous about the importance of legal doctrine. Two, jurisprudent. Now, jurisprudence, Juris, we're going to give you the definition for juris right after this. Jurisprudence, and it's pronounced jurisprudence. Um, That's a upside down ENTS. That's JOOR. They got it. You know how they write the words in these Black's Law dictionaries. For this, like the way how to pronounce it. Where's it at? It's right here under my finger. But we're gonna read it for y'all anyway. Jurisprudence says 17th century. So the 1600s definition from like 1640, or let's say 1601 to 1699. This is when this definition was invented and it came into existence. Originally in the 18th century, the study of the first principles of the natural law, the civil law, or the law of nations. Two, more modernly, the study of the general or fundamental elements of a particular legal system as opposed to its practical and concrete details. Three, the study of legal systems in general. Four, judicial precedents considered collectively. Five, in German literature, the whole of legal knowledge. Six, a system, body, or division of law. Seven, case law. So it must be another definition in the Black's Law Dictionary, fourth edition, because jurisprudence is the science which treats positive law. And it might be more words to it than that, but basically I'm just giving it to you short and sweet. Juris. All right, this is 15th century. Juris, someone who has thorough knowledge of the law, especially a judge or an eminent legal scholar. Jurisprudent. That's a jurist. Someone who has thorough knowledge of the law, especially a judge or an eminent legal scholar. So we jump right into the chronology, right? And go through the chronology, starting with September 5th, October 26th, 1774. First Continental Congress meets at Carpenter's Hall in Philadelphia to coordinate American resistance to British colonial policy. So in 1774, American resistance to British colonial policy. That's the First Continental Congress meets at Carpenter's Hall, right? So in 1774, we was resisting British colonial policy. Right now, every lawyer and attorney got a British accredited bar association card connected to the Britain or London or the Vatican or something like that. It ain't connected to no American institutions or no Treasury or Department of Justice. How are you practicing American codes and quoting United States of America case law, but your bar association card, you paying dues to Great Britain? That's a conflict of interest right there. Every lawyer got one, or so-called lawyer. They're not lawyers, they are attorneys. Look up the etymology for attorney. It says to turn over, to assign to. So when you hire an attorney, you sell your birthright, basically, your unalienable rights, because they are officer of the state, officer of the court. I mean, officer of the court. Most attorneys know that if they argue a real argument with merit, they will like probably get disciplined leave, lose their bar association card. So get back to the chronology. September 5th to October 26, 1774. First Continental Congress meets at Carpenter's Hall in Philadelphia to coordinate American resistance to British colonial policy, right? All right, so I say who was um who was the first president under the Continental Congress? Give you a hint. He looked like me. And he's on the back of the $2 bill. Y'all know who I'm talking about? He's the only one that signed, the only for the first and last one that signed under our great seal on the back of that $1 Federal Reserve note with the pyramid with when they took the head off of it. That symbolizes something. Uh, symbolizes they took the head, the mind, the third eye of the Moabite woman. They conquered her, and she's under occupation. John Hanson was under the First Continental Congress. He was the first president, not Georgie, not George Washington. John Hanson was the first president. George Washington or whoever, Benjamin, one of them dudes, they was writing the Sultan of Morocco and signing peace treaties for permission to even come over here or come through the ports and come back and forth and travel freely. That's the longest treaty with the United States, is the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. But John Hanson was under the Continental Congress. He was the first president. And then Benjamin Banneker, they don't tell you a lot of stuff about him. Benjamin Banneker, our uncle, our great uncle, Big Ben Bay. You go up in George Washington Masonic Lodge out in Virginia, right? They got a room in George Washington Masonic Lodge where they got Big Ben Bay fez hanging up in there. A Moorish fez hanging up in there. So they keep all our knowledge in secret and honor it and worship it. Big Ben Bay designed the whole White House. Every building in there, he built it like astrology, off like zodiac signs and stuff like that. And yeah, he's teaching the almanac. He created almanac. You know him as Benjamin Banneker. His real name was Ben Muma Ali Big Ben Bay or something like that. Let's go through some Constitution now. All right, that was just a little bit of the chronology that I just wanted to jump into, just starting from that date. I don't want to go through the whole chronology because this video ain't about that. I know when they say, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which is," no, it says, "for one republic and to the republic for which the," no, "one republic under God," or something like that, right? and to the republic for which it stands, one republic. Don't they say that when they pledge allegiance to the flag? It say to the republic or one republic, right? I can't remember exactly how it goes. So they talking about a republic. The word Democrat ain't even in the Constitution at all. So why is they teaching them about Democrats and all this stuff? And in the Pledge of Allegiance and in the Constitution, it only talk about the republic. It goes even further and say every state is guaranteed a republic form of government. Let's go through some of this. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Uh, I'm gonna go to the most important articles. It says, I think we'll be starting off with I think we're gonna be starting off with Article 1, Section 10. So this says that the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes. Is the IRS the Congress? Is Social Security Administration or insurance companies the Congress? Section 8 says the Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States. But all duties, imposts, and excises shall be uniform throughout the United States. That means they operating under the uniform commercial codes, right? Admiralty and maritime, because everything is bankrupt. Y'all don't really have no credit or money because y'all took it from the people. So y'all going around from nation to nation, devouring everyone on the earth for their resources to satisfy your greed and appetite. But it's not yours. It's the international bankers that you just fighting for them. So it says to borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among the several states and with the Indian tribes, to establish an uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States, to coin money, regulate the value thereof, and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures, to provide for the punishment of counterfeit in the securities and coin of the United States. So to establish post offices and post roads. See, the Congress is supposed to be providing for the punishment of counterfeit in the securities and current coin of the United States. You see them do that? If Abraham Lincoln and all them, when Abraham Lincoln was born, he didn't have no birth certificate. or no social security number or nothing like that. They wrote all of the family names in their Bibles. So this is why you got to study the law and learn that when they created the Constitution in 1791, that's the organics, that's the supreme law of the land. This stuff right here is really for the corporations only, but if some of it is in harmony with the old Constitution, but they took certain stuff out and they changed a lot. So that's what caused a lot of confusion. And these international bankers and stuff that did that, they tried to override the first one. It's two constitutions. The Constitution 4 from 1789, 1791, and then the 1868. That's why we have a 13th Amendment. One of them got a 13th Amendment with 20 sections, and that's basically dealing with the attorneys and stuff like that, and other things. And one of them took out the 20 sections of the 13th Amendment. So now you see the trickery. So, and that's all unconstitutional color law, and that's really null and void. The only way it stands as truth, or if it has any merit, if the people consent to it and don't, you know, what do you call it? And don't adverse claim. So that's that. Let's go to Article 1, Section 10, right? I just highlighted this one part because that one little part where it say make anything but gold and silver tender in payment of debts. That means Federal Reserve notes is not paying no debts. This is why no matter how much you pay, they keep trying to add more taxes and talk about you owe them more. You ever get a car loan or something and you take out a loan for the finance and you might start paying large sums or whatever and it feel like it just keep going up? It's really because it's just numbers really, and they could change numbers every time. How many times we see these people scamming their own systems, getting locked up because they cheated and cheated the customers and everything like that, right? It's just bookkeeping. That's all it is, accounting and bookkeeping, what they doing. And so if it say make anything but gold and silver coin of tender and payment of debts, we don't even have no gold and silver coin really like that. But you could get some off Amazon. It costs you about $30 to get a silver dollar, a real dollar, 1 ounce pure fine silver, the type of silver that they took from the people in 1933, that if you keep it in your pocket, it'll charge you up. If you get a cut or a scrape, you can put it on your face and it'll heal your cut and stuff like that. And when you walk with silver and stuff and gold in your pocket, it energizes you and stuff like that. Why y'all take the real wealth from the people and give them Federal Reserve notes, which is IOUs, unsigned checks written on a closed account? Federal Reserve notes is not money. It's a promise to pay at a later date or something like that, right? It's a debt instrument. It proves that we slaves. It says no state shall enter into any treaty, alliance, or confederation, grant letters of marque and reprisal, coin money, emit bills of credit, make anything but gold and silver coin a tender in payment of debts, pass any bill of attainder, ex post facto law, or law impairing the obligation of contracts, or grant any title of nobility. No state shall without the consent of Congress. Now let's jump into some more powerful stuff. That was something that I got highlighted in here. And What else we got in here? We got Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation. So if they doing color of law, if you put stare decisis, res judicata, Supreme Court case rulings on record, notifying them, sending them certified mail receipts where you know they got it, and they try to still proceed under color of law, aren't they saying the Constitution is a worthless piece of shit and they just lost their job and they don't even want to work as a constitutional officer? Aren't they murdering the people's rights? You took an oath to this, not me. This protects my rights. So let's go over this again. Article 3, Section 1. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court and in such inferior courts as the Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. The judges, both of the supreme and inferior courts, shall hold their offices during good behavior and shall at stated times receive for their services a compensation which shall not be diminished during their continuance in office. Section 2. The judicial power shall extend to all cases in law and equity arising under this Constitution, the laws of the United States and treaties made or which shall be made under their authority, to all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, to all cases of admiralty and maritime jurisdiction, to controversies to which the United States shall be a party, to controversies between two or more states, between a state and citizens of another state, between citizens of different states, between citizens of the same state claiming lands under the grants of different states, and between the state or the citizens thereof and foreign state citizens or subjects, in all cases affecting ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, and those in which a state shall be a party, the Supreme Court shall have original jurisdiction. In all the other cases before mentioned, the Supreme Court shall have appellate jurisdiction, both as law and fact, with such exceptions as and under such regulations as the Congress shall make. Says the trial of all crimes except in cases of impeachment shall be by jury, and such trial shall be held in the state where the said crime shall have been committed. But when not committed within any state, the trial shall be at such place or places as the Congress may by law have directed. It says, treason against the United States shall consist only in levying war against them, or in adhering to their enemies, giving them aid and comfort. No person shall be convicted of treason unless on a testimony of two witnesses to the same overt act, or on confession in open court. The Congress shall have power to declare the punishment of treason, but no attainder of treason shall work corruption of blood or forfeiture during the life of the person attained. I should have highlighted this one. This is Article IV, Section 1. Full faith and credit shall be given in each state. So that means when you got House Resolution number 75 or 175, Google House Resolution Ill Bay, it tells us that we can go back and claim our titles that our forefathers had. And that's full faith and credit. Every state got to honor that and respect that. But when we talk about jurisdiction and sovereignty, what is that title? I forgot, title 29 section something. Look on the Delaware records, the records for Delaware state, the Lenape title. Look it up, jurisdiction and sovereignty, Lenape Moors, Delaware State. Article IV, Section 1, full faith and credit shall be given in each state to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state, and the Congress may by general laws prescribe the manner in which such acts, records, and proceedings shall be proved and the effect thereof. Section 2, the citizens of each state be entitled to all privileges and immunities of citizens in the several states. Here it go where it say um Republican form of government, right? Section 4, Article IV. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislator or of the executive when the legislator cannot be convened against domestic violence. That means domestic terrorists, human traffickers, running around under color of law, color authority, trying to detain people and stop them from their life, liberty, and happiness without an Article 3 warrant signed from an Article 3 judge or probable cause that they got on signed under the penalty of perjury that they can say that they can show and prove that a crime been committed. So if I got to contact the provost marshal and have a meeting and sit down and go up to West Point and talk to the head chief provost marshal Daryl Armstrong of the military against my birthrights and my rights being infringed, we gonna have to set up a contract and I'm gonna get compensated anytime anything happened to me. Already notified the mayor Rob Rollerson, he have yet to respond back to me. I told him my status and he's operating on my ancestral estate, on the Moroccan ancestral estate. Go read the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the United States and Morocco. Treaty of Tripoli. The definition of American is the copper-colored natives found on the continent by the European. The original definition of American is the copper-colored natives found on the continent by the European. And, you know, they started reconstruction and taking some words and changing and stuff, but the truth still stands. Definition and truth still rules. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a Republican form of government. And I told y'all the word Democrat is not even in the Constitution. And shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislator or of the executive when the legislator cannot be convened against domestic violence. Go look up Title 18, Section 242. They made that law. That's the United States codes. These are United States laws for domestic terrorists that want to infringe on my rights or anybody else's and trying to molest our rights. This is a good one too. Article VI, talking about the debts under this contract, because you know the first republic come from my ancestors, the great law, the law of great peace, Anunnaki law, right? The first republic come from Hannibal to Carthage, my great ancestor. And all of the Europeans that's saying they're Americans that's in positions of government now, they never came from no republic. They came from feudal law. Go look up the history of Rome. All debts contracted and engagements, we caliphs, not lieutenants. All debts contracted and engagements entered. Oh, let me get this right, because I'm kind of feel like I'm stuttering. All debts contracted and engagements entered into before the adoption of this Constitution shall be as valid against the United States under this Constitution as under the Confederation. That's that law of great peace. Before the European and Christopher Columbus came here, we had government set up. We didn't all come here from Africa on slave boats. Because we got mounds and pyramids from Canada, Stone Mountain, Georgia, that y'all covered up and stuff like that, but you can still see them. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary, notwithstanding. The senators and representatives before mentioned and the members of the several state legislatures and all executive and judicial officers, both of the United States and of the several states, shall be bound by oath or affirmation to support this Constitution. But no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. That's powerful right there. Governments was put in place to protect the rights of the people and uphold the Constitution. We pay y'all taxes, so don't that mean we get to tell y'all what to do? And then they go into the amendments to the Constitution. I guess we could go over a couple of these. It says, Amendment 1, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So that means if I want to walk into a courtroom with a fez and a yarmulke on my head and a SWAT sticker chain, you can't tell me nothing. All of this stuff is my ancient ancestors' symbols and stuff anyway. I could break it all down to you. The SWAT sticker is 2 sevens, and it's really like a symbol of, it's either higher self, lower self, or duality, something like that. We the real Jews and stuff like that. Everybody know that. So I could go walk around with a yarmulke if I want. I'm about to look them up and see how much they cost. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Amendment 2, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I like this one. No soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in any house without the consent of the owner, nor in time of war, but in a manner to be prescribed by law. I like this one right here. Amendment IV, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Amendment V. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger, nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. So if I get in an interaction, in an encounter with a public servant who trying to human traffic me and molest my rights, if he start asking for stuff like, yeah, you got a license and this and that, I'ma ask him, yo, you got a surety bond? What's your indemnity bond number? I want to see if I could. We gonna put a lien on you if you try to do something dumb and try to molest my rights. I'm gonna do the same thing to you. Let me call up your insurance company. It's probably Wells Fargo or Traveler or something, and complain on you. If you get a whole bunch of complaints, you lose your insurance. You can't be a cop no more or nothing or whatever you think you are. What it say? Amendment VI. In all criminal prosecutions, the accused shall enjoy the right to a speedy and public trial by an impartial jury of the state and district where the crime shall have been committed, which district shall have been previously ascertained by law, and to be informed of the nature and cause of the accusation, to be confronted with the witness against him, to have compulsory process for obtaining witnesses in his favor, and to have the assistance of counsel for his defense. In suits at common law, where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law. Amendment VIII. Excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishments inflicted. It says, Amendment IX, the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. Amendment X, the powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. Amendment IX, the 11th Amendment was ratified February 7, 1795. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity. What's that? To any suit or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizens or subjects of any foreign state. Talking about the 12th Amendment. This the 13th Amendment with 2 sections, like I was telling y'all. But we could read it. Why not? It's still neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Section 2, Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. Amendment XIV, the 14th Amendment. And then this is what I told y'all, 1868. They talking about the 14th Amendment was ratified July 9th, 1868. And then it's a lot of debate and speculation on this. They said the 14th Amendment was never ratified by all the states. You could just go up and Google the 14th Amendment fraud, congressional records or something like that. And it should lead you to a very trustworthy, reputable site, a website like the Library of Congress, Department of Justice, or the government website or something like that. And you could get the information right there. But it say, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and pardon me, and of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. So yeah, man, I just truly think that it's a lot of people out here that try to block information. And when you really start breaking down the case laws, when people argue the Constitution and they win their cases, they like try to make people believe the truth ain't the truth. How you trying to like debate something that's already written? Let me see if I can find this definition. This dude said a half-tongued jury. No, that's not here. Okay. Let me see if we can skim through here a little bit. See what we find. We got 37% on here. I guess I could go live for a little longer. Aristotle was satisfied with the limited, albeit daunting, goal of theoretical wisdom as the most important ingredient of human happiness. Aquinas agrees with Aristotle that theoretical wisdom is a major ingredient of happiness in this life, and that human beings, in order to be happy in this life, need a suitable body, external goods, and the company of friends. But Aquinas insists that the happiness attainable in this life is incomplete and imperfect, a pale reflection of the perfect happiness of beholding God's essence, and that no material or created spiritual thing, including human friendship, is essential to such perfect happiness. But both Aristotle and Aquinas recognize that human happiness in this life
also requires right reason to direct external action and govern internal emotions, as well as a rightly ordered will regarding the requisite ends of human actions and emotions. But Aquinas goes beyond Aristotle to maintain that rectitude of the will is necessary for happiness, because willing requisite ends necessary entails loving as good whatever God loves. For Aquinas, there is no complete rectitude of will without conformity to God's will and his commands. Revelation and reason communicate God's commands, and so human beings should conform their will to the divine commands of both. Although it may be true, as Aquinas thought, and as probably most Christians then and now think, that there can be no real conflict between right reason and Christian duty, there remain questions about whether particular moral judgments of reason are right, whether Christian faith imposes particular religious duties, and how to reconcile apparent conflicts. The goodness of the will depends exclusively on the will's object, and so it depends on reason, which presents the object to the will as in accord or discord with reason. Since the light of human reason participates in the eternal law, the goodness or malice of the will depends even more on that law. Every will acting contrary to reason, even erroneous reason, is evil, but some acts of the will in accord with erroneous reason may be evil, since human beings may be directly or indirectly responsible for the fact that their reason judges erroneously. All right, let me go. This is a synthesis. Let's see what we got in here. This is dealing with the law, dealing with law. Does law deal with reason on the essence of law? First article, does law belong to reason? We thus proceed to the first inquiry. It seems that law does not belong to reason for the following reasons. Objection 1. The apostle in Romans 7:23 says, I perceive another law in my bodily members, etc., but nothing belonging to reason belongs to bodily members, since reason does not use bodily organs. Therefore, law does not belong to reason. Let me see what else we got in here. I don't really like certain stuff like this sometimes. I might drop this book in one of these donation bins, tell you the truth. Saying, Isidore says in his etymologies, if law is based on reason, everything founded on reason will be law. But both things ordained for the common good and things ordained for private good are based on reason. Therefore, law is ordained both for the common good and for the private good of individuals. Um, on the contrary, Isidore says in his etymologies that laws are enacted for no private convenience, but for the common benefit of citizens. I answer that, as I have said, law belongs to the source of human acts, since law is their rule and measure, and as reason is the source of human acts, so also is there in reason itself something that is the source of all other kinds of acts. And so law needs chiefly and especially to belong to this source. And the first source in practical matters with which practical reason is concerned is the ultimate end. But the ultimate end of human life is happiness or blessedness, as I have maintained before, and so law especially needs to regard the ordination to blessedness. Moreover, law in a strict sense needs to concern ordination to happiness in general, since every part is related to a whole as something imperfect to something perfect. And so also the philosopher regarding the cited definition of law speaks of both happiness and political community. For he says in the ethics that we call those laws just that constitute and preserve happiness and its particulars by citizens sharing in a political community. For the political community is the perfect community. And he says in the politics. And regarding any kind of thing, the one most such is the source of the others. and we call the others such by their relation to that one. For example, fire, which is hottest, causes heat, and composite material substances, which we call hot, and so far as they share in fire. And so, since we speak of law in the first place because of its ordination to the common good, every other precept regarding particular acts has the nature of law only because of its ordination to the common good. And so, every law is ordained for the common good. Let's see, we get something else. On different kinds of law. First article, is there an eternal law? We thus proceed to the first inquiry. It seems that there is no eternal law for the following reasons. Every law is imposed on particular persons, but there was no one from eternity on whom law could be imposed, since only God was from eternity. Therefore, no law is eternal. Objection 2. Promulgation is an essential component of law, but there could be no promulgation from eternity, since there was no one from eternity to whom a law would be promulgated. Therefore, no law can be eternal. Objection 3. Law Law signifies the direction to an end, but nothing ordained to an end is eternal, since only the ultimate end is eternal. Therefore, no law is eternal. On the contrary, Augustine says in his work on free choice, no one with intelligence can perceive the law called supreme reason not to be immutable and eternal. I answer that, as I have said before, law is simply a dictate of practical reason by a ruler who governs a perfect community. But supposing that God's providence rules the world, as I maintained in the first part, his reason evidently governs the entire community of the universe. And so the plan of governance of the world existing in God as the ruler of the universe has the nature of law. That's right. And since God's reason conceives eternally, as Proverbs 8:23 says, not temporarily, we need to say that such law is eternal. Reply objection number 1. Things that do not exist in themselves exist with God, insofar as he foreknows and foreordains them, as Romans 4:17 says, and he calls non-existent things into existence. Therefore, the eternal conception of God's law has the nature of an eternal law, and so far as he ordains that law for governance of the world he foreknows. Reply objection 2. Word and inscription promulgate law, and God promulgates his eternal law in both ways, since the word of God and the inscription of the predestined in the book of life are eternal. But as regards the creatures who hear or read God's law, the promulgation cannot be eternal. It says, reply objection 3. Law signifies actively ordaining things for an end, namely, that law ordained things for an end. And law does not signify being ordained for an end. That is, that law itself be ordained for another end, except incidentally in the case of human rulers, whose end is intrinsic to themselves. And then the ruler's laws also need to be ordained for that intrinsic end. But the end of God's governance is God himself, and his law is indistinguishable from himself. And so the eternal law is not ordained for another end. Second article, is there a natural law in U.S.? We thus proceed to the second inquiry. It seems that there is no natural law in U.S. for the following reasons. Objection 1. The eternal law sufficiently governs human beings. For Augustine says in his work on free choice that the eternal law is that whereby it is right that all things be most orderly, but nature does not abound in superfluities, nor is it wanton in necessities. Therefore, there is no natural law for human beings, it says. Objection number 2. Law ordains human beings to their end regarding their actions, as I have maintained before. but nature does not ordain human actions to their end, as happens in the case of irrational creatures which act for their ends only by natural appetites. Rather, human beings act human beings act for their end by the use of their reason and will. Therefore, there is no natural law for human beings. Objection 3. The freer one is, the less one is subject to law. But human beings are freer than all other animals because human beings, unlike other animals, have free choice. Therefore, since other animals are not subject to a natural law, neither are human beings. On the contrary, a glossary on Roman 2:14, when the Gentiles who do not have the law do by nature things prescribed by the law, etc., says although they do not have the written law, they have a natural law whereby each of them understands and is conscious of good and evil. I answer that, as I have said before, law, since it is a rule or measure, can belong to things in two ways. In one way, to those who rule and measure, and a second way, to those ruled and measured. Since things are ruled or measured insofar as they partake of the rule or measure, but the eternal law rules and measures everything subject to God's providence, as is evident from what I have said before. And so everything evidently shares in some way in the eternal law, namely, insofar as all things have inclinations to their own acts and ends from its imprint on them. But the rational creature is subject to God's providence in a more excellent way than other things, since such a creature also shares in God's providence in providing for itself and others. And so it shares in the eternal plan whereby it has its natural inclination to its requisite activity and end. And we call such participation in the eternal law by rational creatures the natural law. And so Psalms 4:6, after saying, offer just sacrifices, asks, who shows us just things? And replies, the light of your countenance, O Lord, has been inscribed on us. The psalmist thus signifies that the light of natural reason, whereby we discern good and evil, is simply the imprint of God's light in us. And so it is clear that the natural law is simply rational creatures' participation in the eternal law. Reply objection 1. The argument of this objection would be valid if the natural law were to be something different from the eternal law, but the natural law shares in the eternal law, as I have said. So this just goes in, and then third article, are there human laws? We thus proceed to the third inquiry. It seems that there are no human laws for the following reasons. Objection 1. The natural law shares in the eternal law, as I have said, but the eternal law renders all things most orderly, as Augustine says in his work on free choice. Therefore, the natural law suffices for ordering all human affairs. Therefore, there is no need for human laws. Objection 2. Law has the nature of a measure, as I have said, but human reason is not the measure of things. Rather, the converse is true, as the metaphysics says, therefore, human reason can produce no law. Objection 3. A measure should be most certain, as the metaphysics says, but dictates of human reason about things to be done are uncertain, as Wis 9:14 says, the thoughts of mortal human beings are fraught with fear, and our foresight uncertain. Therefore, human reason cannot produce laws. On the contrary, Augustine in his work on free choice posits two kinds of law, one kind eternal and the other temporal, which he calls human. I answer that law is a dictate of practical reason, as I have said before, but there are similar processes of practical and theoretical reason, since both proceed from principles to conclusions, as I have maintained before. Therefore, we should say that we advance in theoretical reason from indem- indemonstrable first principles naturally known to the conclusions of different sciences. Let me do a little skim reading. Hold on. Did human beings need a divine law? Fourth article, and they answering it yes. We thus proceed to the fourth inquiry. Now, the person that wrote in this book before I got it said yes. Let me see. Let's see what the article says. We thus proceed to the fourth inquiry. It seems that human beings did not need any divine law for the following reasons. Objection 1. The natural law is our participation in the eternal law, as I have said, but eternal law is divine law, as I have said. Therefore, we do not need another divine law besides the natural law and the human laws derived from natural law. Objection 2. Sir, 15:14 says that God left human beings in the hands of their own deliberation, but deliberation is an act of reason, as I have maintained before. Therefore, God left human beings to the governance of their own reason, but the dictates of human reason are human laws, as I have said. Therefore, human beings do not need to be governed by another divine law. Objection 3. Human nature is more self sufficient than irrational creatures, but irrational creatures have no divine law besides the inclinations that nature implants in them. Therefore, much less should rational creatures have a divine law besides the natural law. On the contrary, David petitioned God to lay out the law before him, saying in Psalms 119:33, "Teach me the law, O Lord, in the way of your statutes." I answer that in addition to the natural law and human laws, divine law was necessary to give direction to human life. And there are four reasons for this. First, indeed, law directs our acts in relation to our ultimate end. And human beings, if they were indeed ordained only for an end that did not surpass the promotion of their natural ability, would not regarding reason need to have any direction superior to the natural law and human laws derived from the natural law. But because human beings are ordained for the end of eternal blessedness, which surpasses their proportional natural human capacity, as I have maintained before, God needed to lay down a law superior to the natural law and human laws to direct human beings to their end. Second, because of the uncertainty of human judgment, especially regarding contingent and particular matters, different persons may judge differently about various human actions, and so even different and contrary laws result. Therefore, in order that human beings can know beyond any doubt what they should do or should not do, a divinely revealed law regarding which error is impossible was needed to direct human beings in their actions. Third, human beings can make laws regarding things they are able to judge, but human beings can judge only sensibly perceptible external acts, not hidden internal movements. And yet, human beings need to live righteously regarding both kinds of acts in order to attain complete virtue. And so human laws could not prohibit or adequately ordain internal acts, and divine law needed to supplement human laws. 27%. It says that fourth, human laws cannot punish or prohibit all evil deeds, as Augustine says in his work on free choice. This is because in seeking to eliminate all evils, one would terribly also take away many goods and not benefit the common good necessary for human companionship. Therefore, in order that no evil remain unforbidden or unpunished, there needed to be a divine law forbidding all sins. And Psalms 19:7 touches on these four reasons when it says, "The law of the Lord is pure," that is, permitting no sinful wickedness, converting souls, since it directs both external and internal acts. The Lord's faithful witness, because of its certain truth and rectitude, offering wisdom to the little ones, since it ordains human beings for a supernatural and divine end. Reply objection 1. The natural law partakes of the eternal law in proportion to the capacity of human nature, but human beings need to be directed in a higher way to their ultimate supernatural end. And so God gives an additional law that partakes of the eternal law in a higher way. Objection 2. Reply. Deliberation is an inquiry, and so Deliberation needs to advance from some principles, and it does not suffice that it advance from first principles implanted by nature, that is, precepts of the natural law for the aforementioned reasons. Rather, other principles, namely precepts of divine law, need to be supplied. Is there only one divine law? Says, no. Let's do a little more skim reading on this. Um, we thus proceed to the fifth inquiry. It seems that there is only one divine law for the following reasons. Objection 1. There is one set of laws of one king and one kingdom, but the whole human race is related to God as one king. As Psalms 47:7 says, God is king of all the earth. Therefore, there's only one divine law. Objection 2. Every law is ordained for the end the lawmaker intends regarding those subject to the law, but God intends one and the same thing regarding all human beings. As 1 Timothy 2:4 says, he wills all human beings to be saved and to come to the knowledge of the truth. Therefore, there's only one divine law. It says, objection 3, the divine law seems to approximate the eternal law, which is one more than the natural law does, as the revelation of grace is higher than the knowledge of nature. But there's one natural law for all human beings. Therefore, much more is there one divine law for them. We still got 25%. I guess we could go a little longer. On the effects of law, first article, is the effect of law to make human beings good? We thus proceed to the first inquiry. It seems that it does not belong to law to make human beings good, for the following reasons. Objection 1. Virtue makes human beings good, since virtue makes those possessing it good. As the ethics says, but human beings have virtue only from God, since he produces virtue in us apart from our efforts. As I have said before regarding the definition of virtue, therefore it does not belong to law to make human beings good. Law benefits human beings only if they obey law, but goodness causes human beings to obey law. Therefore, human beings first needed goodness in order to obey law. Therefore, law does not make them good. Objection 3. Law is ordained for the common good, as I have said, but some ill disposed regarding their own good and well disposed regarding what belongs to the common good, therefore does not belong. All right, this stuff is this might be a good read. It's not really resonating with me like that. I'm gonna try to read something else though. I gotta go get me a couple more cigarettes. I ain't got no more cigarettes in here. Talking about the should human laws be framed in particular rather than general terms. Is everyone subject to law? I could go over this one. It says, is everyone subject to law? We thus proceed to the fifth inquiry. It seems that not everyone is subject to the law for the following reasons. Objection 1. Only those for whom laws are established are subject to the law. But the apostle says in 1 Timothy 1:9 that laws are not established for the righteous. Therefore, the righteous are not subject to human law. Objection 2. Pope Urban says in the Decretum maintains no reason demands that those guided by private law be constrained by public law, but all spiritual persons who are sons and daughters of God are guided by the private law of the Holy Spirit. Just so Romans 8:14 says, those moved by the Spirit of God are God's children. Therefore, not every person is subject to human law. Objection 3. The jurist says that rulers are exempt from the laws, but those exempt from the law are not subject to it. Therefore, not everyone is subject to the law. On the contrary, the apostle says in Romans 13:1, let every soul be subject to higher powers. But any persons not subject to the law that higher powers establish seem not to be subject to the powers. Therefore, all persons should be subject to human law. I answer that, as is evident from what I have said before, two things belong to the nature of law. First, indeed, that law be the rule of human action. Second, that law have coercive power. Therefore, human beings can be subject to the law in two ways. They can be subject to law in one way as the ones regulated by the rule, and in this regard, all those subject to a power are subject to the laws the power establishes. But one may not be subject to a power in two ways. One may not be subject to a power in one way because one is absolutely free from subjugation to the power, and so those belonging to one political community or kingdom are not subject to the laws of the ruler of another political community or kingdom, since such persons are not subject to that ruler's dominion. One may not be subject to a power in a second way insofar as one is ruled by a higher law. For example, a person subject to a proconsul ought be ruled by the proconsul's commands, but not regarding matters from which the emperor exempted the person. For regarding the latter, a person directed by a higher command is not bound by the command of an inferior power, and so those absolutely subject to the law may not be bound by the law regarding matters about which they are ruled by a higher law. We say in a second way that some are subject to the law as the coerce to the power coercing, and in this respect only the wicked, not the virtuous and righteous, are subject to the law. For what is coerced and forced is contrary to the will, but the will of the virtuous is in accord, and the will of the wicked in discord with the law. And so only the wicked, not the virtuous, are subject to the law in this respect. Reply objection 1. The argument of this objection is valid about being subject to the law by way of coercion, for then the law is not established for the righteous, uh, since they are a law unto themselves, because they manifest what the law requires written in their hearts, as the apostle says in Romans 2:14 to 15. And so the law does not have the coercive force in their regard that the law has regarding the wicked. Reply objection 2. The law of the Holy Spirit is superior to every human law, and so spiritual persons, insofar as they are guided by the law of the Holy Spirit, are not subject to human law regarding things contrary to the Holy Spirit's guidance. But it belongs to the Holy Spirit's guidance that spiritual persons be subject to human laws. As 1 Peter 2:13 says, be subject to every human creature for God's sake. Reply objection 3. We say that rulers are exempt from the law regardless its coercive force, since, properly speaking, one is not coerced by oneself, and law has coercive force only by the power of a ruler. Uh, Only by the power of a ruler. Therefore, we say that rulers are exempt from the law because no one can pass sentence on them if they act contrary to the law. And so, a gloss on Psalms 51:4, I have sinned against you alone, etc., says that there's no one who is competent to judge the deeds of a king. This is a powerful article right here. I like this one. I think I like this one the most. But regarding the directive power of law, rulers are subject to the law by their own will. Just so the decretals say, rulers should follow the law that they decree for others. And the authority of a wise man says, obey the law you yourself decreed. Also, the Lord reproves those who preach and do not practice, and those who impose heavy burdens on others, but do not themselves want to lift a finger to move them. As Matthew 23:3-4 relates. And so, regarding God's judgment, rulers are not exempt from the law regarding its directive power, and they should willingly, not by coercion, fulfill the law. Also, rulers are above the law insofar as they can, if it be expedient, alter the law and dispense from it at certain times and places. Sixth article. Are those subject to the law permitted to act contrary to the letter of the law? We thus proceed to the sixth inquiry. It seems that those subject to the law are not permitted to act contrary to the letter of the law for the following reasons. Objection 1. Augustine says in his work on true religion, although human beings judge about temporal laws when they decree them, the subjects will not be permitted to judge about them after they have been decreed and established. Rather, subjects should judge according to the laws. But if one disregards the letter of the law, claiming that one preserves the lawmaker's aim, such a one seems to judge about the law. Therefore, those subject to the law are not permitted to disregard the letter of the law in order to preserve the lawmaker's aim. It says, only those who frame laws are competent to interpret them, but human beings subject to the law are not competent to frame them. Therefore, such human beings are not competent to interpret them. Rather, such human beings ought always to act according to the letter of the law. Objection 3. Every wise person knows how to explain a person's aim in words, but we ought to esteem wise those who frame laws, since wisdom says in Proverbs 8:15, kings rule through me, and the framers of laws decree justice. Therefore, we should judge about the lawmaker's aim only by the words of the law. On the contrary, I'm going to fold this page because I like this page right here. On the contrary, Hilary says in his work on the Trinity, we should understand the meaning of statements from the reasons for making them, since speech ought to be governed by things, not things by speech. Therefore, we ought to pay more attention to the lawmaker's aim than the very words of the law. Okay. And then they got stuff on revision of laws, can customs obtain the force of law? Talking about the old law. Do we trace all the moral precepts of the old law to the 10th commandment? We got like 17%. I'm about to end this video in a second. Yeah, I don't agree with a lot of this stuff right here. But it do got one little nice little part in here I like. It's a good read. This is like actually like maybe my first time really thoroughly really reading this stuff like that. On the reason for precepts governing the administration of justice. That's just a glossary. Yeah, I probably dropped this book off, donate it to the free book library.
Yeah, probably would have stayed longer, but my phone is dying. Supposed to be leaving in like 3 days. Going on my little vacation. hmm Yeah, gotta go on this little vacation in 3 days. I really don't want to go for so fucking long. I wish I could just take a fucking rental car back, man. We staying 4 days. My stomach started hurting out of nowhere. I gotta take a shit. And my pants too tight. No wonder this phone ain't charging. I don't even got it in the charger. If it starts saying this phone the temperature is too hot, I might have to end the video. It's already giving me a little problem. Not charging. Fuck it. Play some music for y'all. This basketball court is so nice. I gotta get a basketball. When I get back from vacation, I would love to start balling there by myself. Because a lot of other courts, if you get a lot of people there, but that court is nice because you got glass backboards, full court, and there's not a lot of people that be there. And it's a small court. It's too long some court. Got a full court, bigger than the goddamn NBA basketball. I think some of the courts too big, probably maybe parameter and shit like that. I think they was trying to build a goddamn tennis court and turned it into a basketball court or something. About to go stop and get some Lucy's real quick. I might have to get some more gas. You never know, and just head home. Or maybe I don't need gas. I'll just head home, come back out and get gas. I don't know. I'm down to my last little $5, so the struggle is real.
That's the racist tow truck right there. That's what they look like right there. Dingies. All white tow truck, yellow writing on it. That nigga racist as shit up in there. That's the one I was telling y'all about. That's the one I was telling y'all about, right? When I told y'all that I had turned through basically me and this girl had a misunderstanding. And he seen us in the goddamn parking lot having a little conversation, talking and stuff like that, right? I want to see if it's the same one. And he gonna look at me and stare at me and not open up his window when I ask him a question. But then a little European white, he gonna roll down his window and talk. He probably the same racist ass one. Yeah, yes, you know, motherfucker, you know how I feel right now. Real, he probably got a camera on and shit like that. This Denji's tow truck. Y'all know they racist. I just want y'all to know that they ass is racist. He was at 11, but the 7-Eleven is 140 right now. So whatever he was doing, I don't give a fuck. He ain't about to follow me. You know, in the middle of the video, top out and put the camera on you and say, "Yo, what's up? Let's talk right here." And have you looking dumb as shit and racist. Don't play with me. I am not scared of y'all ass. Only time y'all act tough is when you got backup, like you called the cops when I came to press, when I came to file a complaint on your dumb ass, remember? Because you did some racist shit. Came to his job, I was going to complain on his ass to his supervisor. He told me, I am the supervisor. And then he said, what you want? I said, I want to file a complaint on you. And I might report you to the Better Business Bureau. He going to say, I get a squad car over here calling the cops. That's white supremacy shit. Nigga, ain't no, you're supposed to give me a complaint form or something. But of course, he ain't gonna let you tell on him. I know you're not gonna catch this light, big. Also, go to this store right here. I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah. I'm glad I got me some short cigarettes because them 100s be too strong, I guess. People think the shorts is stronger, but I think the 100s are strong. They taste nasty. I got $3 on me and then I got $4 on my card. I might have to use that to get gas, or I just wait till tomorrow and come back out. Coming out early tomorrow too. Should have never came this way. It should be so hard to turn through this shit. You know I can't provide. Only thing I'm clear about is who gonna get you home. Stop it to my house drunk if anybody home. Words slurred in my vision glow. Different zone. Room spinning, I don't know. I zip my pants and get the blowing so nasty. But what's up with me? Stayed up every night to fuck with me. Fuck me. First time that we, girl, it was nervous. We started touching the surface. Only conversation. It feel like we flying, whatever you want. No, I can't provide. I'm gonna have to get a fucking oil change and everything when I get back. Man. My dad want me to go all the way to his house. Nigga, you must gonna give me gas spread and oil change money, my nigga, cause I'm gonna tell him straight up, yo, pops, I need an oil change and I'm gonna need gas if I come out there. That's about $100. I'm tapping his pockets. Fuck that. He want me to drive all the way to his house and then leave my car there where I feel unsafe because I don't trust his wife. I think she'll try to with my car.
really want to tell him to give me $200 and I'll drive down there myself. Feel me? That's what I really want to tell his ass. Shit is setting me back though, man. Got a lot of bills and shit. But I ain't going to let that get in the way of me seeing my loved ones. Because I might not ever get a chance to see them again. Hate it from the front. Money, yeah, he will with me. Up there in the sea. I'll probably end this video in a couple seconds, right? Because I'm almost home. So probably when I get home, I'll end this. I've got a couple text messages I'll respond to. Probably get in the house, man. I got to start looking up for some apartments, man. I really can't think I could. I'm going to go. I really don't think I could afford to stay that many days down there. I got to get back. Well, really, we're leaving on Thursday, coming back Wednesday. I don't get paid again until Tuesday, so I could afford to stay. I won't be really doing too much around here anyway. I can't wait to go down south, though. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Just to get up out of here and see something different. Get the change. Clear my mind, charge my energy. Because nobody out here I could talk to that, that's really gonna care and give me the best advice. I got a cousin down south that he's like, he gonna relate to more stuff that I'm telling him than me talking to my mom or my sisters. They're not gonna get what's going on because they're not active on the websites that I be on, and they don't get how people are on social media. But it's my cousin, I know he'll give me better advice than anybody that I've been talking to. My mom trying to get me to talk to her goddamn boyfriend. This nigga's a cop, and he never taught me no Supreme Court case law to help me. I don't think it's really nothing to talk about, but I gotta let him know, like, yo, I don't really trust you like that because, like, I feel like when you said a lot of that stuff about what I'm studying, more science, my nationality and stuff, you try to make it look like it wasn't true. But I'm living this, and I'm, applying what I know. You never even dealt with your nationality. Meanwhile, you got certain brothers that work for the House of Representatives in Syracuse with the last name Bay. They got their free national name. So why are you worrying about what I'm doing and stalking me? And it's sad that as soon as I come out and say how I want to fight you with the boxing gloves on, somebody calling my mom telling her. So y'all stalking my channel. That's sad. That means y'all miserable and y'all ain't got nothing better to do but to just watch me. That's the reason why I feel like my mom is eavesdropping on me, trying to listen to everything I do. She want to know everywhere I go. Because you and your boyfriend is probably doing undercover work trying to goddamn sacrifice me or get me killed. That shit is sad. Damn, it says 92 degrees out here. It's hot as a bitch. It don't feel that hot though. I ain't gonna lie. It feels nice and warm and kind of cool. It don't feel hot. Normally I'll be sweating in my car. I'm not even sweating. I seen this Muslim guy just riding with a turban on, and you had a dude in a white truck behind him, following him real close up on him and shit like that. They could be together or something like that, though. You never know. So yeah, when that Hyde Park police rode through where I stayed last night, he rode through there unannounced and stuff like that. He ain't get no call to go there. So that was a form of intimidation that they tried to pull, a little intimidation tactic. And I'm call that shit out every time it happened. Matter of fact, I'm right here at the light right now for the mobile. At the mobile, where the Stewart's gas station is, and you got two Hyde Park police sitting in the Rite Aid right now.
So it's like they ride in groups and like doing gang activities. They are domestic terrorists. Hyde Park police is domestic terrorists. Dutchess County, New York. They are not no goddamn officers. They're not public. They don't hold office. They didn't get elected. They are security guards with guns, and they are moving as a gang. Yeah, they moving as a gang. So it's crazy though, because they can only go in Hyde Park. Once you go into Poughkeepsie, they can't even do nothing to you. So what's the point of y'all all acting crazy and doing all this dumb stuff? I don't get it. Matter of fact, if my mom's is on, I'm about to go back outside in a couple more minutes and just charge my phone up and come back out. I really don't even feel like being here. And it ain't really nothing to talk about being with cousins. That nigga's a bitch. I don't need to talk. But let me end this live and get back with y'all in a couple minutes. So I go run upstairs. I'll keep y'all live while I run upstairs for a second. Might as well, right? Damn, we got 7% on this phone. That's why I gotta hurry up and get it on the charge upstairs. Plug it in the wall. It was hot. Now it felt like 90 degrees. A few minutes ago, it ain't feel that hot. It's hot as a bitch. All right, I'm gonna end this. I'll get back at y'all later. Peace.